$32,000. And two, authorize the finance director to make the appropriate budget adjustments as necessary. Got a question on that? Why do you need to adjust your budget for a grant? Anyway, Mr. Vincenzo Carazzo, Public Works, and I see Mr. Beals here. Mr. Deal's here with you. Please continue.
Great. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Vincenzo Carazzo, Public Works Director. And with me is Ben Deal from the Yuba Area Bike Advocates, or YABA. I'll give a little background on this item and then turn it over to Ben to talk about the project. So the item before you is to accept a frac bed or Feather River Air Quality Management District mini grant for $2,000 to purchase and install a bike rack at Bryant Field. In April, Ben approached me with an idea to install bike racks. He talked to and gained support, partnership from Blue Zones Project, as well as Highlands Community Charter and Technical Schools. In May, as the eligible lead agency and owner of Bryant Field, the city applied for the grant and was notified of award on August 15th. And tonight we're looking for grant acceptance by the city council. Ben, you want to talk about the project specifically?
Sure. All right, thank you, Vincenzo. So he probably brought up all the stuff with the Air Quality Management District. They have a yearly mini grant program to help with air quality and active transportation. I brought it to his attention. We actually found a baseball-shaped bicycle rack, which seems like it fit in the ballpark pretty good. So YABA has previously helped with the bike rack in front of the brick. I don't know if you guys noticed the train trestle in front of the brick. So we helped work with Dan Turner out at Yuba College to get that rack through the mini grant program. So we fully support you guys adopting it. I think the finances is covered 100%. So it's really just ordering the rack, and then YABA and Marysville will work together to install the rack so that people can ride to the ballpark. There's no bike racks right now. You either kind of hide it or chain link it to the fence. So it'll help. I mean, it's only one rack, but it'll help with some parking issues and getting people active. So that's it.
Ben, you're very much involved in active transportation. Question for you. We're going to put bike racks, presumably this passes, and I'm sure it will, at Bryant Field. Tell me about the bike paths to get to Bryant Field. And I'm particularly interested in bike paths or bike routes as between East Marysville and Bryant Field. I don't see any.
Yeah, so currently the bike path and the bike plan is through the tunnel. You cross the 16th Street, and then you go to, I'm forgetting the name of the street right in front of the ballpark.
Which tunnel?
So if you're coming from East Marysville by the high school, you go through the tunnel, the bike ped tunnel.
Okay.
You cross at 16th Street by the vet hospital. There's a push button, has the yellow flashers. You cross there, and then you're on the.
So that's a pedestrian route.
Well, it's actually approved by the council in 2016, the bike path. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's a bike plan that has it on there. So.
That was before my time.
So it's approved. There's a way to get from East Marysville. Now, could it be better? In my opinion, yes, but that's for another discussion.
May I interject on that?
Please.
Approved given current conditions, but not at all ideal.
Correct.
Thank you.
What was your comment?
So the bike path that the previous council of 2016 approved is not, it is given the current conditions of our roadways. It wasn't like a master plan that was then created. It was, this is loud. I'm loud enough already. So it was basically, they pieced it together. So that, your question is, how do you get your bike from East Marysville? It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. Even though the Binney Junction project
that's the kind of answer I was trying to get from
Yeah,
Brian.
So that's what he asked.
I would agree
and
Sorry. Well, if you guys, I think a lot of you know me. Obviously, I'm out here riding a lot. I have videos crossing that street. It's super dangerous. I've been halfway through the crosswalk with the lights blinking and cars still drive through right in front of you. So, yes, there is not a nice, easy bike path currently.
From experience myself, it is a death trap.
This is the reason I ask is we're in some negotiations with Caltrans. Thank you.
Great.
Through the chair.
Sir.
So You mentioned the bike rack that you worked with Dan Turner that's sitting in front of the brick house that was done, about 4 years ago, pre-COVID thereabouts. You said you found a custom one for the baseball. Are you working in conjunction again with Yuba College Department, or did you find this baseball-shaped base rack from another vendor?
No, that's a great question. Yeah, no, actually, it's a vendor, a bike rack vendor.
Okay.
They have them in front of professional team parks and stuff like that. So it's kind of, you order it, they make you one and send it to you. And it's under budget for the grant program. It has enough for installing stuff. But
So it takes care of the installation, all that stuff, because I know that that was a good program that we worked with our local college before. So, but if you found something, that's fine. I was just kind of curious where you sourced it. That was my question. Thank you.
yeah, great question.
To the chair.
Sir?
There's a picture of it, Brad, okay, yeah, he actually chose it. My question is, I see you've inserted the proposed plan for Ellis Lake, North Lake, with the parking spots, et cetera. It's too small for me to see where you plan on putting the bike racks, but you'll decide that later.
So actually,
And they can be...
He's going to give you an answer.
Oh, good. It's a 2-point question.
So point one, yes, we work with Highland Charter. We have a spot near the stairwells when you go up into the stands.
Inside the park.
Inside the ballpark.
Great.
Correct. So you can go get a hot dog and make sure your bike's still there or whatever you got to do. So instead of storing it outside and locking it to the fence.
So these are within the gate.
Correct.
Good.
Part two.
Sir?
To your question on why we need to adjust our budget, it's not a great amount, but
Installation?
our finance director likes to keep track of revenues and expenses coming in. And though we are getting the revenue, we have to have authority to appropriate the dollars. So it comes in fairly easily, but we have to get your approval to spend the money after we receive it. So it's a bookkeeping issue.
Yes, ma'am. Any other comments or questions? Sir?
I'm just curious, does the $2,000 cover two of them?
No, unfortunately, it didn't.
Because I see you have two spots,
Yeah, it was
locations.
Yeah, it was slightly over $2,000. It was like $2,200, I think, for two of them.
For two of them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To the chair.
Please.
Would you ever, Bruce, don't you think 2 would be nice? Maybe we...
Well, that's why I was asking what the plan is, and
Yeah.
plan is for two. We're just a couple hundred.
Correct, yeah.
Just
So we're going to...
I guess I'm now confused. Are we buying one or two? So if I might recommend to the council that we foot the bill for a second one if we're just slightly under.
That was going to be my suggestion.
Let's please do that.
So, okay, that'll be a suggested amendment. You know, my comment before we move to making the necessary amendment to have two is Marysville is made for active transportation. It's a compact city, wide streets, room for bike paths and what have you. But I worry about the access as between East Marysville and the rest of the city, and the rest of the city in East Marysville. And it's the state highways that cause all the problems. That's been an element of some conversations we've been having with Caltrans as we iron out some other differences. It will remain a topic of conversation. Anyway, would someone like to suggest an amended?
Yes. You want to do it? I'll do it. I make a motion to increase the budget from the general fund to add an additional rack to complement this Feather River Air Quality Management District grant and approve and accept it, the grant, as well.
I'll second that.
And we don't need a dollar amount. We're okay.
I think we're okay.
Good deal. Okay, moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well done, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got two of them. Yeah, kind of squeeze them apart and then drive it in there. There you go. The last item is an item I requested to be put on the agenda. And it's item 8 on the agenda. It's a discussion item, no specific action being suggested. But again, it's a discussion item, and it's with respect to difficulties presented by the homeless population of the city of Marysville. I don't think it's any secret that while waiting with Councilman Belza, Chief Sachs, and 2 members of Congressman Doug Lamalfa's staff for Congressman Lamalfa to show up, at the corner of 5th and D, all of a sudden I get sucker punched in the back of the kidney, and this fellow takes off running, and Councilman Belza got the head start on things. He knocked him down, but while he was still squirming, Chief took total control, and it was all handled. But I know I've read recently, semi-recently, about another person of my age, 75, and thus one of the counts being against the perpetrator being elder abuse. Punchline in a lot of stories I tell about this, by the way. I do recall a month or so ago, someone down in Chinatown, I think, was attacked, and it was an older gentleman. Yeah.
Are you talking about me?
No, not you.
Because I was.
Well, it was someone else, Stuart.
I don't know. Yes.
There was someone else attacked down there. And it brought home to me. I have a lot of friends in East Marysville, all over town, but East Marysville is where I grew up and folks I know there. And a lot of the ladies who are as old as me and older are very concerned, have expressed over time a lot of concern about going to pick up a prescription at one of the 2, either Walgreens or CVS. And it's, we can't have a policeman patrolling by there every 5 minutes, so these things happen. And my head's on more of a swivel. I did a Google search on the demographics of the homeless population in California. And let's all accept right now there's 80% are adults not with children. So you know that the 20% adults with children, I bet 99% or more of those folks are the kind of folks who want to get back into the mainstream of living in America. But there are, again, I looked at just looked at the first page that came down in my search, and it suggested a website, statistics, 66% mental health. Another one, 20% schizophrenic. That's from mentalhealth.com, and that includes hallucinations and delusions. At least 50% mentally ill or suffering from addiction. And I say suffering from addiction, purposely suffering, because one of my boys passed away from addiction. So I'm sympathetic to these folks, but there's also a problem with civil society. When it gets coarsened, the fabric of civil society is torn at when there's a lot of folks out there who are effectively enabled by certain policies of the state government. And it's just difficult to deal with. When there's a problem, all they can do is a 72-hour hold. It takes a lot to have something beyond that happen with one of these folks. And then just this weekend, Saturday, I walked by the brick and saw someone I knew, walked in. And this lady works in an office very near the western boundary of Marysville, near the railroad tracks. And she said that they see enough homeless folks to where they know the regulars. They've just, they're familiar faces. And she said, and this might be an unfair observation, but she's very observant. She said, there's a whole new crew in town. It's all new faces. And I was hoping Councilman Belza would be here, because Councilman Belza mentioned this the other night when he was interviewed on Channel 13. He said that the approach taken by Governor Newsom in dealing with the grants pass decision by the United States Supreme Court was to take quick action and blow up all of these homeless camps. And certainly doing something with homeless camps is the right thing to do. But Councilman Bell's suggestion was, it's like a hornet's nest. You go in and hit it, they're just going to scatter everywhere, versus having a managed takedown of the problem. And I hear rumors, I don't know if they're true or not, about people being bussed out of the San Francisco Bay Area and Sacramento. The greatest concentrations of homeless are in Los Angeles area, San Francisco, the entire San Francisco Bay Area, except for a few of the tonier neighborhoods, and Sacramento. So we are on the periphery of this, and we're having to deal with it. I do know, and I've chatted with Chief Sachs and City Attorney, that they will be reporting on tools available to the city in the wake of the grants pass decision. But actually, our Chief of Police, Chief Sachs, has actually been ahead of this, and the police force has been actively engaged. As actively, maybe stepping a little, maybe a little aggressive, which I don't mind, in dealing with this problem. But when there's a lot of news about one of the elected officials being attacked in downtown, I didn't want to let it go by and make people think we weren't doing anything about it, or we weren't vigilant up until that moment. As I understand it, the police department, the city in general, Public Works is involved, fire department's involved, is being extremely vigilant and actively engaged in managing what is a serious problem still for this city. It's nothing like it was 4 years ago. Things are dramatically better. All those encampments and the river bottoms were taken care of, and kudos to, again, Chief Sachs, Fire, Public Works for really aggressively dealing with that. So I brought this up as a means of recognizing the issue, since it got a lot of publicity lately, and also commending those in the city pardon me, involved in dealing with it. And hopefully at a council meeting in the near future, City Attorney and Chief Sachs can bring the city up to date on what tools are available, particularly in the wake of the grants pass decision by the United States Supreme Court. And I'm certain that'll be a very informative session. That's what I had. Did we? Public comment would be welcome, or any comment by the City Council would be welcome. Sir, please join us. Identify yourself, Supervisor-elect.
Yeah, my name is Rena Kaus. I'm the Supervisor-elect for District 2 in Yuba County. I brought something to the District Attorney, or not District Attorney, to the Sheriff a couple weeks back. There's an agency called San Francisco Human Services Agency and San Francisco Homeless Supportive Housing Agency, and they have a goal to send people from their encampments to places with less hurdles for services. So they're actually actively sending people through a program called Journey Home. They're sending them to our town. So it's something, I mean, it's pretty well known, but when you call their government agency and ask, hey, how does this program work? If you pretend you're somebody who wants to be a participant of the program, they'll try to set you up a ride the same day. So it's pretty.
My friend who pointed this out to me, seeing all the new faces, said they all were carrying a similar plastic bag with goodies in it.
Yeah, they actually told me they give you a Amazon gift card to help you get on your feet, and that there's a fulfillment center at the Lakeside Petroleum gas station. So wherever they drop you off, that's where you can go pick up your Amazon orders because you don't have an address. So that's where your people are coming from, huddling up over here and all over our town.
So the hornet's nest got hit, and there's a scattering going on right now, and it's probably causing issues for public services around the state.
Yeah, and those agencies think they're doing something really good because they're giving these people shortcuts to places that have less people on their HMIS systems, so their homeless management systems. So they might have a 3-year wait for housing in Oakland, but they have a 6-month wait here. And so, and it actually ruins all of our programs that we have existing. So, I mean, I'm in full support of anything that Marysville can do to push back on that, whether it's a cease and desist order to those programs or something of that nature. But it'd be wonderful.
Reddick, thanks for speaking. You're going to be a great supervisor.
To the chair.
Sir.
So, yes, San Francisco Mayor, what's her name? Breed is definitely, they're bussing them out. We covered this in last council. I brought in a paper, an article. Well, I brought it in and spoke in council comments, I think, about an article about all cities are aggressively sweeping, bussing out. I don't have to lean so forward. Their residents, and we are going to see more because of it. Now you have to have a destination in order to get out of. There's another angle as well. In order to get out of the state prison system and see a probation officer, you must give your final destination. And some will choose the city of Marysville because this is what they know. This is where their home is for whatever reason. And they are given I believe the Amazon card. There's little cubicle boxes outside of that gas station, which has nothing to do with the gas station. It's just a receiving facility that's run by Amazon. You get a credit card with money, your train and bus ticket to your destination so you can meet up with your probation officer. They also give you the names of all of the services in the area. So ours is the Life Center, and so they know to go directly there. So we need to ramp this up, our services, because more people will be coming. You've done an outstanding job, but we've got new people coming.
Any other comments? Noting none, we'll move on. Committee reports. Councilman Gilchrist.
I think that's it. I think I just gave another one.
Councilman Hudson.
Nothing except for one of the many extracurricular activities I do is I'm part of a firemen's group called Fools, Fraternal Order of Leatherheads, and we're doing our annual 9/11 celebration this year in Marysville again over at Washington Square Park at 10 a.m. with honor guard, bagpipes, and it'll be a 30-minute ceremony, speech with the chaplain and so forth. That's all I got on my committee reports and my extracurricular activities.
Thank you. Vice Mayor.
I have no reports at this time, but I am looking forward to the Brewfest this Saturday at noon, I believe it starts. So I plan on being there.
Next week is typically we'd have the cattle drive through Marysville, but everybody's noticed there's a few traffic problems in Marysville right now. So no cattle drive, but on Wednesday, September 11th at 6 p.m., come one, come all, at Washington Square Park at the northwest corner of 10th and E, will be the unveiling of a beautiful monument to Cotton Rosser. I think it's 125% life-size, of Cotton on a horse. It'll be waving to all the traffic as it goes by. It'll be seen by tens and tens of thousands of people every day. It's going to be a wonderful event. And, of course, the rodeos that weekend and sodbusters gathering down in the River Bottoms, a big party on Friday night. But if you can be there on Wednesday at 6, it promises to be a fun event.
Mr. Mayor,
Sir. You found something.
Something hit me that I just want some clarification before we adjourn. Going back to the bike racks, I think I misunderstood, and either way, I'm still in support of it. But looking at your cost here, this looks like it's $2,000 per rack. Plus the shipping, plus everything. This total right here is per rack. Okay. So do we have a total if we do two? Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm still in favor of doing it, but we're looking at more than adding just a few $100s. We're probably going to be close to. Yeah, it's going to be probably. Yes. I just wanted to make sure that was clarified.
We may be doubling it for the clerk's benefit.
Anything else, gentlemen? Madam Clerk, do we have any correspondence for the council?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. All council members have received an invite to the Cotton Rosser Monument dedication and celebration that you previously mentioned on September 11th at 6 p.m. It is in your inbox here at City Hall.
Thank you. And this is always the best part of the meeting when you actually find out what's going on. City Manager's report.
Lots of events going on, a couple of them already mentioned. Once again, lots of events going on, starting with the 7th, Craft Fair at Veterans Park, Brewfest at Bryant Field, and then a suicide prevention walk starts in Yuba County, comes across the 5th Street Bridge into Marysville. And is PD participating in that? No, okay. On the 11th, already mentioned the unveiling of the Cotton Rosser statue. The 12th, Behavioral Health is having an event at Bryant Field. And then the 13th through the 15th, rodeo activity starting with Sod Busters on the 13th in the evening, followed by Stampede and on 14th and 15th. And then rolling into October, October 4th should be a fun one. Yuba-Sutter Chamber of Commerce Taste of Yuba-Sutter event, once again at Bryant Field. On the 12th of October, Sutter Yuba real estate event at Lions Grove in Riverfront Park. And on the 25th, Yuba County Probation Trunk or Treat event on 5th and B. And then longtime favorite, the 31st, Halloween Scaryville event on D Street. So those are the list of events seems to get longer and longer every time. I should have made Dan read those. Couple of other things I just wanted to mention: the train fire that happened. What day was that, Chief? Saturday. Train in Marysville on the westernmost tracks up near the 530 building with cars on fire. Chief was on scene as well as many of our firefighters, and the decision was made to get it out of the populated area, and in coordination with the Sutter County fire authorities, the train was moved north towards Live Oak in a more open area where the railroad folks and our firefighters and Sutter firefighters taking over could get the trains, the cars under control and decouple and get the engines and other cars away from the fire. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking at first, but once again, in my mind, handled pretty textbook firefighting, where they assessed the situation, determined what to do, and professionally dealt with the issue. So thank you, all the firefighters that were involved. Another thing related to trains, though, Mr. Carraza has been in contact with our partners at the Union Pacific Railroad and has a short report on where we're at with that, so I was going to go ahead and let him speak to that.
Great, thank you. I was going to include Mr. Flores, our Community Development Director, definitely was in on that call, but we had a first contact with Union Pacific with their consultants, and we kind of laid out what needs to be done. But essentially, we are the drivers in this car, and Union Pacific is the backseat driver. So they want us to basically act and proceed. The council gave staff a budget number that we would pay their consultants to sit in the back of the car. But the end result is a diagnostic report with the state and the feds. We need to meet, all be out in the field to assess what it would take. And then at the end of that, we'll have a diagnostic report with the UP's blessing. And from there, we end the stage of the diagnostic team, and then we can pursue another round of either design or construction. But we'll come back to council after that diagnostic phase.
May I ask a question? For what? Quiet zone. The train quiet zone. Thank you. That's what I was missing.
I was going to chime in.
We need to land somewhere.
The whole conversation.
So it's the quiet zone.
The whole conversation was for the quiet zone.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it was
The
regarding
train
the quiet
quieting
zones.
home. Okay, I'm thinking train station.
I thought I
North
had
Valley
mentioned
Rail.
that.
Yeah.
This is, in plain language, this is to keep the trains from tooting their horns off and waking everybody up when they come through town.
So this is the initial stage, and as Mr. Carraza mentioned, the next stage will likely be design activities, and funding will be required for both the design and the construction, and we will have to look for funding to do that. CDBG is an option in the future, and there may be some other grants at the federal and state level that would help with that.
Okay,
And I have two others. Fairly quick. Gavin Park Phase 2. By popular demand, we should be installing a slide and a tot lot there in the September timeframe. I believe all the equipment is here. We're just scheduling the installer to do that. And then last of all, people interested in the issue with the hotel, there will be an appeal hearing on September 9th, whereupon we will have 3 building officials from other agencies determining whether the building is considered a nuisance by our ordinances and state code, and whether the city has the ability to abate the problem.
Yeah, it's September 6th at 9 a.m.
Did I say September 9th? Oh, shoot. I apologize. We had the open house or the ribbon cutting at the barber shop that was moved from the 6th to the 9th, so I'm getting definitely on the 6th is the hearing for the appeal for the hotel. Thank you, council.
there we go. Next regularly scheduled meeting of the council will be Tuesday, September 17th at 6 p.m. We're adjourned.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba-Sutter and Nevada counties.